Gotcha.
At the banquet at Badger that day.
Gotcha.
It's close. It's close for top 5.
For the
senior points.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're averaging 30 senior 206 carts.
I did notice that because the Badgers points, how they have like positions, and that I know how Badger works too, where it's like 200 plus entries. So when I was just like 231 points, I was like, jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're averaging 30 cars, in our class.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes more, 35, 36.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy.
And you're only running the senior?
Yeah.
They don't have a light?
We talked about that. We talked about it being on the board. I brought that up because there's a lot of young kids coming that are smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And I see, there's a few drivers in our class that have run in 3 or 4 years now. As a senior, that are putting 65 pounds of lead on their cars.
Exactly.
And that's a lot of lead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of small kids moving up from junior to senior.
And that's going to be...
That are
that's a safety thing, I think, with a lot of weight on seats.
Yeah, I mean, it's fiberglass still, right?
Yes.
So
right.
That flexes. I mean, we got my cart, the one that we brought to the thing, and the seats shot, like, the bottom of the seats broke and all that. I'm like,
it's...
And we don't even have any, I think maybe 10 pounds on it. That's it.
See, but there's Ricky Johnson and Logan Ebel Logan's got 65 pounds of lead on his seat. I know Ricky's got it close to that. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know why we can't do it. We talked about it, and it kind of got shot down on the rest of the board. Oh, we don't want to kind of...
Time, basically.
Yeah, it's a time to, events to get more laps in, and I don't think it's... I think it's more or less that they want to see the group... there's a chance we could get close to 40 carts.
We could get 40 carts next year.
Yeah.
There's a limit of 45.
45? Okay, so it's getting close.
I'll tell you one thing. This event, we probably will have close to 45, maybe 50.
And we need B main for that.
B main for sure.
Let's go dirt racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk somebody into getting a seat for that day.
I might. I gotta talk with Ashley because we might be still in Punta Cana.
Oh,
maybe not. I don't think so. I think I'll be back.
You remember Roger Miller? Roger. He's going to be the race director.
Nice. Okay.
He's going to be a race director.
He's a former race director at Badger.
Nice.
He was his son Robbie Miller raced for a while at Badger.
Okay.
And Eric Miller will be doing the announcing.
Okay.
From Road America, the announcer.
Nice. This is gonna be a big deal.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be a big.
Oh yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Racing Podcast, presented by Kenosha Plumbing. We have a new partner that came aboard for the last few races, so thank you, Kenosha Plumbing, and we put them in the spotlight Saturday night, which is a topic for later. But with me tonight we have Louis Goggles and Joe Palmisano. There we go. I have to look at it. If I don't see it, I'm like, yeah. Palmisano. There we go. With us, so we're going to be talking Wisconsin Wingless, Wilmot Raceway, Badger Kart Club, Ignite Series, a bunch of stuff, which is going to be fun, going back to the roots of, where we came from with Badger Kart Club. But real quickly, thank you to everyone that donated their time to the Sleep in Heavenly Peace bed build at Wilmot Raceway on Saturday. Their goal was 125 beds. They built 126. They had 90 volunteers in the morning and 40 something in the evening, and then we had or the afternoon. We had some bedding donations. So thank you to everyone that brought bedding to our trailer, to the Sleep in Heavenly Peace and the general grandstand admission, and then I think they said that there's some at the pit edge, the pit shack too. So thank you everyone for doing that. We obviously knocked the number down of kids in Kenosha County that don't have beds, so thank you. And today's show we're going to be talking Louis's racing career. We're going to dabble in Joe's racing career too, especially with the 75th year of Wilmot Raceway coming up. Pretty cool. Nathan's racing event dates and details are in here, so let's go. So we'll be talking about that. I had originally, because I make notes and topics before, like a week before, I said our 2024 Wilmot season, but I think we can just talk about Saturday nights because that was a pretty bad butt race. And then we have some fall classic news and stuff like that. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and don't forget to feel free to comment any questions, topics, or anything else that you guys want to talk about, or if you have questions for these fine gentlemen, fast gentlemen here with us today. So we'll start off the show with a little bit about our guest Louis. So one thing that I like to ask is, where do you want to go in racing?
I don't know yet, honestly.
Yeah,
I
nice.
seriously don't know yet. I'm
Nice.
hoping one day to go into the Wingless sprint cars. Hopefully in the future, if we get if money goes well, basically, and sponsorship and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, we're sticking to karting for now.
Yeah. Do you have a guesstimate when you think you'd be doing, like, best case scenario?
Hopefully, when I turn like probably around 20,
20,
19,
so an adult,
something
18,
like that.
Because you are 16.
16.
You're tall for 16. Nice. Some issues, though, right? With trying to get the seat mounted and all that. Or wait.
There's people are taller than me, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In my class.
All right, so you're 16, so you're in high school. Where do you go to high school?
Hartford.
Hartford, let's go. What's your favorite class?
Probably physical education gym.
Okay, so gym, being active and staying in shape for racing.
Yep.
What do you think the best exercise that you can do to stay in shape for racing in the winter?
Probably squatting, benching, all that stuff.
Okay. Nice.
No deadlift.
No deadlift?
No, that's
No.
not good. For
That means you're used to being upside down and you gotta kick the cart off you.
Yep.
As long as you do like 200 pounds, I think you'll be fine. And so do you do anything like with mental or like neck?
No, not
training?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm working on it.
Okay. Yeah, if you're gonna be in a sprint car, you're fine. You got a nice soft headrest.
Yep.
You just lay your head on it and just go with that. What do you do, or what do you want to do for work when you get out of high school?
Hopefully, probably just get more racing stuff. Work on like cars and stuff one day in the future.
Nice.
Go karts. I want to work at Franklin one day just to help them out.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Nice. Is Siraki still on it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Siraki
Yeah,
is still.
Jamie is. Yep.
Jamie, George, Gio's still in there.
Nice. Yeah, I saw them at the Racing Roundup show. It was nice seeing some faces. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
how
right.
life. And Jamie's kid, how old he is now.
I
You know,
know.
like,
Is that crazy?
Yeah. Man, life goes by fast.
Yes, it does.
Yep. So do you have any specific like automotive stuff, or you want to be just kind of more general, or just like
more general,
more
I
general.
should say.
okay, all right, nice. But you said working on carts too, so that'd be that's not a bad
Oh,
job.
yeah.
It's not a bad job. Yes, Scott, I melted the butter. It's an inside joke. I'm gonna have to say it because it's on there. So basically, when we were doing it in the garage, and I was on my phone doing the lives, and I was like walking around and stuff or whatever. Ashley was out, and she was like, "Oh, before you go live, make sure you melt the butter so that when I get home, I can cook." Because I needed like room temperature melted butter. So she comments in the middle of my live, "Did you melt the butter?" And I was like, in the middle of a like in the middle of my thought, and I'm like, "Yeah, I melted the butter," and then proceeded on with my thought. Then later I realized she took the comment down, which means in my live video I'm talking and just blurt out, "Yes, I melted the butter." So now it's an inside joke to everyone that was there listening to it. So, yeah. All right. What do you do, Louis, outside of racing? What do you do in your free time besides being a student?
Basically working out, just make sure I'm fit for racing,
Okay.
do homework, all that stuff.
Nice. Do you do any sim racing or anything like that?
No.
No.
I don't have an iRacing set.
Me too. I get sick. Yeah. My mind's telling me I'm sliding, but my butt's like, no, we're not. And it
Yeah.
just starts to conflict with
Yeah.
me I can get 20 minutes and then I'm done.
Yep.
All right. So Joe has raced as well. So I'm gonna rephrase some of these questions.
Okay.
Because I don't think you're in high school, right?
No.
Graduated a few years ago.
Just a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So when you were racing, where did you want racing to take you?
At the time, I always wanted to go a little higher, not NASCAR, but, into some stock car stuff,
And for our listeners that don't know, you ran super modifieds.
Yes, I ran super modifieds and modifieds from 1988 until 94, running mostly at Wilmot and then a little bit at Plymouth with the wing mods when we had 30, almost 40 cars each week racing, and it was a big fields. And then took a few years off and built a 360 sprint car when MSA, just before MSA started.
Okay.
It was just at Beaver Dam. We ran 1998. I ran 98 and 99. I took another year off or 2 years. We built a house and then ran another couple of years with 360.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to be like a little bit higher, not like you said, not cup or anything, but like maybe IndyCar. That's cool too.
IndyCar's it's like way stuff higher.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And then what do you do for a living?
I work at Quad Graphics in Hartford.
Okay.
I'm in the press maintenance department. I've been there for 19 years now.
Wow.
And this is going to be my 20th year coming up, so
Okay.
been in there, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a buddy when I worked at Uline.
Yeah.
So we worked at Uline, but he's from up north, not up north to like Wisconsin people, but like up north to like Illinois people. You know, like up north is like Milwaukee. Yeah, that's up north.
Oh, yeah.
But he was from I think like that area, Heartland or something. But he got married, and his wife's family is from Milwaukee. So after they got married, they moved down here.
Okay.
Just to get their feet underneath them, and so he applied at Uline, and I was working at Uline. Well, we started talking, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you come from?" And he was like, "Quad Graphics." I loved it. The only reason why I left is because we moved, and I'm not driving that every day.
Yeah.
So I've only heard really good things.
And it's
about
like,
the company.
Yeah, it's like any job, after a while. There's a lot of good things about it. They have different bases of hours, working. I work a 8-hour shift, Monday through Friday, which is great. I've got a great boss, a great manager. He knows we race. He's supportive with the racing, and he knows that the time I have off is spent with my wife and my son racing, and he gives that to me. So my weekends are off, and I'm blessed with that. I'm lucky, that way, so we can enjoy a racing schedule. Like we've been very busy with our racing.
Oh yeah, I found that out because I was looking in the wrong places. But then I found it. I'm like, wow, we have a lot to talk about with your racing. And then you kind of alluded to it, but what do you do outside of racing, or when you and Louis aren't racing?
When we aren't racing, we traveled. We go to a lot of races.
We go to races.
A lot of kart races. That we don't run in. We'll go and watch and help some of our friends that we've met. Especially through the Ignite series, and we. It's basically that's our life is pretty much racing. Either if we're not racing or not, we're at Wilmot watching the races, watching our friends run their cars, or Plymouth or wherever. We love to go to Sun Prairie and
Okay.
just take that.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite driver at Wilmot?
You, Louis. Or is it for Louis or for me?
For both. Whoever wants to go first. I thought you were like, I took it as you, Derek. Louis?
You first.
Okay, mine's easy. Mine's easy, and it's a good friend of ours, the family for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Colburn. Will always be my favorite racer. My great family friend. His whole family is awesome people. Amy, Christy, Nancy, Dick, they're Rod, and all those guys, and Rod's dad, passed away, Charlie, but
the tuna.
Yeah, but great family. I love them, and when I grew up going to Hales Corners Speedway, we lived right behind Hales Corners. I went with my buddies. We watched. They had a special one day, and Channel 6 was there taping some supermods racing, practicing, and we had autographs signed, and one was Dick Colburn. My mom actually went to school. She saw the autograph. She says, "I went to school with a Dick Colburn," and we went to the races. My mom and I always went to the races at Hales when I was young, and we after the races, we watched the races there that day. There was Supermods special. Went in the pits, and we. My mom talked to Dick, and we were, introduced, and he remembered my mom, and it was kind of cool. And eventually, my parents, because they knew I loved racing, they started sponsoring Dick, and they owned a couple race cars that Dick drove.
Okay.
Later in that was one of Dick's sprint cars. Actually, two. My parents owned that Dick drove. Wow. It's like it's kind of neat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Getting involved.
Who's your favorite one?
I
Present, past, doesn't matter.
probably it's present right now. It's he's been racing a long time. Been watching him for probably like 8 years, not 10, close to 10 years. Tim Cox, probably.
Tim Cox,
probably Tim
legend
Cox.
himself.
Another guy, another cool guy. Yep.
Oh yeah. What's up, Brad Becker? What up, DC? The original DC, David Crane. I had a comment coming here, and so I'm just gonna talk about it now, because otherwise it'd be later in the show. So Bill here, have you heard how Tristan nursery is? So I'm assuming he means just is how he is. Yeah. So I messaged him today. He said he's got a sore neck, but he's planning on trying to make it out next week or this coming weekend. So that's really good. There we go. Met Tristan first time. Okay. I was like, I don't think it was a pretty good ride. Which we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show too. But just for the update, yeah, Tristan is sore. And then also for those that don't know, Wilkie was hit in the eye with clay. Assuming it's around the 4 wide salute pace laps or whatever, because when we gassed up to break out, he said he got hit in the eye, which kind of sucks, because when we had the Tristan first set the red flag, Hanson, Wilkie, and I were stopped 3 wide on the back chute because we couldn't see who it was. We just saw a white hood, so we're trying to think of all. It was like, Radar's next to me, so it's not Radar. I'm a white car, but I'm here, and then we're like, it's got to be First Seth or Reich, and it turned out to be First Seth. But then, since it was going to be a minute, we took our helmets off, and Wilkie's just like, hey, how's my eye look? Is it black or blue? And I'm like, no, but it's starting to puff up a little bit, like right here. So, unfortunately, he was taken to the hospital, which is why the modifieds had the red flag for the pit situation. So he's going to be recovering. So check out Tristan First Seth Racing for more on his updates too. And then also, I think it's number 24 Wilkie Auto Services Racing page or something. Because he just posted that probably, a couple hours ago that he was going to actually miss this weekend because of his eye. Yeah, like I said, we're Wisconsin Wingless, Wilmot Racing. We're not Kyle Larson. Like, take care of yourselves. I know it sucks being this close to the end of the year, but yeah, so I just saw that, so wanted to touch up on the updates, but we'll talk more about that, the racing Saturday night, and topic or two, i.e. what up DC. He is good, rebuilding a car. There we go. Let's go. I knew that, but I wasn't sure if I should have said that, so I'm like, I think he's planning on it. Yeah. So yeah, and then so back to Lewis here. Oh, and real quickly, guys, on my personal page, if I am tagged in Taylor Swift, okay, which is why I had to give them the pen, because I didn't get. 5 minutes before the show, Ashley comes down saying that someone tagged me in a scam and it's Taylor Swift tickets. You clearly do not know my music taste, and you should be scammed. No. So please don't. If you've done, try to get your money back. But yeah, awesome. All right, back to Lewis here. Why did you pick the number 05?
Because he was number 4 and then number 5. So I was number 5 my first year of racing.
Okay.
And then next year, number 5 was taken. So we had the 0.
Dang, people. And their responsibilities getting in their first thing so they get their numbers. Ugh. Yeah, that's what I like about sprint car racing. You just put a letter at it, you're fine.
Yeah.
But it's kind of charactered. It's still number 5.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, it's still number 5, but it's kind of interesting the way we do it with the 0-5.
Yeah. And then Joe, you're number 4. Any particular reason why you picked number 4?
If for some reason I've always when I raced slot cars, I always had number 4. It was 4J always at Hanks and that, and that was always my favorite number, and I always liked the number 4, and it was just something that I always liked that way. It's an even number.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
It's a single even number, and that's what we always thought of.
But you ran modifieds, super modifieds and stuff like that, so you didn't have to put it on the tail tank.
Yes.
4s and 9s and 8s and 6s are horrible. And 0s.
Yes.
Ooh, don't do 0-5 on us. Well, do it once. You'll do it once, and then be like, yeah, never doing that again. I'll change my number. I'll change my number to 1. That's the easiest number to put on.
Yeah, number 1.
You just put it on. You let the number go over it once.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, Louis, your nickname is Goggles. Any particular reason?
Because Flintstone is, I guess, what I heard was when I started racing, his alias was Goggles Paisano, and watching the Flintstones, it was Goggles Paisano, basically.
Matched your last name, so boom, stuck. Joe, did you have any nicknames when you raced?
I had one. A good friend of mine, Roger Miller, announcer at Plymouth,
The Frog.
called me the Frog all the time. We always had a frog on the race car for my mom. My mom liked frogs, so every year we had the car lettered. We always had a frog on the car. And,
oh my goodness.
And Roger always, thought, we'll call it Joy the Frog Palmisano.
Wow, the Frog.
And you look at it too. If you look back in the 80s and 90s, Roger came up with some really good nicknames at Plymouth for Saturday Night Racers. The Hammer, Terry Chesak, and Wayne the Wiener Getch, and all those guys. It's like,
man, that's what we need back again.
Yes, it's really cool. I thought, and that's what years ago in the '60s, like the Mouse, Miles Melius, Fuzzy Fosbender, the Hound, Fuzzy Fosbender, and stuff like that. It gave it a little character. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you get given a nickname, you just gotta lean into it. Like, even if you don't necessarily like it, just lean into it. Like, I mean, I wish I could be called something as cool as, like, the North Pole Nightmare. Like, that just sounds scary. But no, it's just DC. Like the shoes. Like, that's it. And, okay, I'll lean into DC. That's fine. It's my initials, whatever. So, yeah, I think that would be cool if they brought that back. Oh, yeah, Jack Eschbach up here. Thanks for displaying the lid goggles. Yes.
They're
Jack,
awesome.
Jack does really good work. Amazing work. And
Ray Underwood.
It's one of those things where I sometimes feel really bad. Like, it's going to be in a dirt car. And but because it's so good.
Jack does awesome work. We love every design. Lewis kind of came up with a little design for Jack.
I did come up with a design to match the helmet to make it work with the green, with the black, with the blue.
Jack does awesome jobs, and we've got actually a few other Badger racers this year that have gone to him.
Yeah.
This year,
Oh yeah. So then Jack here also says, I saw Jack pop up again. Like, I got a shot. I was like, we're kind of meticulously put this back so it's not So but he says Ray Underwood has come up with some classics. Yes. I think he is like the OG of just coming up with on the spot, and you can ask him, why'd you come up? He's like, it just came to me. Like Nathan the Shirtless Wonder. Like, he's always, which is fun because I got a nickname starting to go around the pits now. I found out Derek the Shirted Wonder. Boom. Let's go. Make that stick.
There you go. Perfect. Hey?
Yeah.
And then Jimmy here says, that's right. Mine is kind of embarrassing. Got my nickname from Nate. Oh, if you want to comment, go ahead, comment. We'd love to hear it. Or read it, I should say.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
But yeah, so while we're waiting for IE to let us know what his nickname is, so we can call him that for the rest of the year, and then at Nathan's Racing event.
There you go.
Topic 1 here is just Lewis's 2024 race season overview. This topic is presented by Next Gen Pumps, veteran-owned, American-made, warranty like no other. If you need sump pumps or Hoosier tires for Wilmot, check out Next Gen Pumps and Tom Brown in Silver Lakes. Oh, Turbo, how's that embarrassing?
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
No.
I like that nickname.
Yeah, that means you're fast.
Yeah.
But if you want to be slow, I'll call you Slowpoke IE. That's fine. So earlier today, I was trying to find some stuff, and I thought you were running Route 66.
No.
Which makes sense, because I only found you in Badger, and I'm like, he's raced more, but that's all I can. But you guys showed up. You said you're at Ignite. Quincy GP, the Badger 8 Hour. But right now, you are 5th in 206. You raced that yesterday?
Yep,
Yes.
I did.
Okay, so the points weren't updated from that.
Yes.
So you got one more race at Badger, right?
Yeah,
I think.
we got one more club race in the 6th of October.
Yeah.
It's our final.
Yeah,
One
so
more race left.
yeah,
at
so
Badger, yeah.
so do you think you're 5th still? Or you think you moved up, moved down? Kind of hard to say. Kind of
That's
tight.
hard to say. It's really close between another kart and my that has not been racing a lot, and he just won yesterday. So
in the feature. We had a 6th place finish yesterday. So.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if you kind of get your features to where you are on points, should somewhat even out to stay there. Okay, all right. So 5th currently, with 2 third places, which is your best, at Badger. And then you said Ignite, so you're 8th there.
yeah,
And you're running
the Ignite Senior class.
Yep, Ignite Senior, and they're 206 motors. You ran 2 classes, now you're running 1 class.
100s.
And he ran a 100.
Oh.
Ignite 100. You got to tell him about that.
Yeah, how is that?
It is fun, but
Power band's different.
it's way different.
It has a power band.
It's like a KA, but a spec chassis, with
Yeah.
spec motor, and we went out there, ran with thanks to Margay worker Brian Moore, gave me the ride. He's like, you want to race this? He's like, if you chart, he gave me a deal. It's
Nice.
like, let's go. We barely in practice, barely changed anything. We won Saturday. We finished second the second race.
Nice.
We went
That was
to
at Concept Haulers.
Concept
went-
Haulers,
went
okay.
to Joliet.
Fun track. Love that track.
Went to Joliet Autobahn the next day. Ran
Aubon, Joliet won that race. Finished 3rd
in the second race.
in the second race. That
It
was
4 races that he ran. He had all 4 podiums.
it was really cool because everybody's like debut to win. I'm like that was sick.
See, that's what happens when you go from a 4-cycle.
Explain the motor package.
Yep, Jack here. Explain the Ignite 100 motor package.
The motor package is by Rock VLR, which is Vortex, which is Tony Kart makes the motors. Tony Kart Vortex, which is a sealed engine. Yep, it's a sealed motor. I think it's a dry clutch. It's a
clutch.
standard pipe. I know it's basically like a IMEK 100, but Rock VLR 100cc motor, basically.
I've been out of karting for so long. Like that just sounds like
It's-
it just sounds so weird. I know KA 100s are fast. I know that.
They're
It's
basically
similar to
they're
them.
basically K100 motors,
Okay.
Very similar.
100cc
But
motors.
he ran both carts the same day. He'll jump in our cart, Ignite with the 206, and then the next race he'll run the 100.
Nice.
So
Is the power the same? It's basically the same.
Yeah. Is the power the same as the K100?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay.
It is.
But see, that's what happens when you go from a 4-cycle to a 2-cycle. Like you know how to carry your speed through the corner.
It
and-
is. It's
it's fun watching, and it was really cool watching Lewis run this cart. It took him a little bit the first day that we practiced at a concept. It took him a couple practice sessions to get familiar.
Mhm.
He talked to one of our good friends that ran that cart a couple weeks earlier, And once he talked to him, it was like it clicked, and he's running so fast.
Yeah.
Then like I said, fast time, won the feature, fast time, finished second in the second feature.
Mm-hmm.
First time out in those karts. And
four-cycle guys are smoother.
Yep, four-cycle guys are smoother, 100%. Because anytime you go like this, you're just like, oh, there goes a quarter of a second. A two-cycle, you do that, and you're like, oh, got the power to pull me out of it. Well, you still lost 0.2 of a second. You just don't realize you lost it because you felt the power pull you out of it. Yeah, all right. Go ahead.
It's just basically the two-cycle kart was just insane because they had harder tires than, those MG Reds. They're called R70 tires, which is the same tires as the 8-hour endurance race. We'll get to that.
Yeah. No, go ahead. How's the endurance race?
It was pretty good. I got one more thing to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It only took me the outlap to get used to back to the 206.
Yeah. It's
and as funny thing, I start the next race. I start on pole in the 206 class. Out of 30 cars.
Nice.
We had a very good weekend.
That was a really fun weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
I'll take that one. IE says Derek the Rim Ripper Crane.
The Rim Ripper Crane. There you go. I like that.
Better believe it.
Oh yeah.
So, how you kind of touched on it. It just took you a lap to transfer from their two-cycle back to the four-cycle, and I think that's the difference between a good driver and a great driver. Mm-hmm. Good drivers can drive a two-cycle, good driver can drive a four-cycle, but the greats can jump back and forth, and they cost you a lap, but you're like, oh, got my muscle memory back. I know what to do, and then they're fast again. Mm-hmm. So keep doing that, especially when you jump from 2 to 4.
And we've got that.
It helps.
We've got that coming up at the end of our last race at St. Louis.
Back in 100. The 100
both again.
Let's go. And that'll help you with the sprint car, too, because every lap the tracks changes, so you have to always adapt your driving style. I mean, the way you start versus the way you end, unless it's a big curb and that ain't moving, you can run your whole race that way. But as you Saturday, the bottom of the 3 was so good, but by the end, it was moving up pretty quickly, so you had to keep adapting to it. So, how was the 8-hour?
8-hour was good.
Okay.
We were running pretty quick, and we practiced on Friday.
Okay.
And we were running fast. Unfortunately, we had to get our kart ready.
The real one.
The real kart.
The endurance kart.
We thrashed to get it
thrashed a lot.
Friday, the day before the Enduro.
So you found all the issues.
Oh yeah. And then we worked on it on Saturday morning.
We had to switch axle.
It was a lot of work, but the guys, all the guys, Louis, the other teammates, they all chipped in and they all busted their butts. Gage Kemp from an Iowa racer, he helped us. And
let's go with our lineup. We had Gage Kemp, an Iowa driver. He runs street races. He's a many-time. He's won Ignite Challenge race before. He's really good at street races. One of
Lewis's mentors.
Nice.
Ignite mentors, I should say.
Yep.
And Brendan Ostrowski, you might have heard that name.
Yeah. Never heard that name before.
Put him back in the go-kart.
In the go-kart.
And he ripped?
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike, right?
Yeah. He had fun, and he did really well. And, he's another one that when Lewis started in go-karting helped us. The Ostrowskis are great people.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his dad, Leroy, and that helped us out tremendously getting Lewis started in go-karting. Our first few years.
Kind of tell you what to do, what not to do, what not to buy and stuff.
And coached Lewis, Brennan,
for the first 3 years he coached me.
Yeah.
And made me better and better each time.
I'd be a horrible coach. Just back it in. Back it into the sweeper. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid. Brennan's a good guy. The whole, like I said, we were very lucky to have the people we had.
Oh yeah, definitely. We had the great people in our team, honestly.
And then Bobby Krug too.
Bobby Krug, the kart owner.
Yeah,
okay.
He raced it.
And raced it. We'll start with how the day went. First practice, we couldn't get the kart going.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel line broke.
Who put that together?
The The carb was leaking gas.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
The carb was leaking gas horribly. We we were like, and then I went out.
We did about what?
I did about like a lap, and I realized the brake rotor was dragging on the brake pad. Axle shifted.
Yeah.
So we're thrashing on
that. Then we finally got back out with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, you got about 3 or 4 laps.
Like 3 laps.
Smart Kart Racing, get used to it.
Yeah.
It was
3 laps, and we put it 4th in time.
Nice. Okay. Cool. And then the Quincy GP.
Let's talk about the race.
Okay. The race. Sorry.
Let's talk about the race going. Let's get going the race.
Okay.
So we start P4. That's 4 basically.
Yeah.
So we were the funny story. The leader didn't get off the line.
It was like a dead start, you know.
The Le Mans start.
said to run and start you and go.
Yeah.
So he took the lead on the first lap.
I took the lead in the hairpin, and
Let's go.
And 1 lap in, the carburetor started slowing down.
The carburetor was
Leaking again. We had to come in the pits.
Put another carburetor
in. Went back in for 2 hours. We moved from last to 5th.
Yeah, there were 15 carts.
We swapped drivers.
How much time did you lose? A couple laps?
It was us. We were in the pits. You have to pit for 5 minutes.
We lost about
6 minutes.
Okay, gotcha. So you only lost a minute, which was
we lost about
2 laps maybe.
2 laps.
We probably lost about 8 laps down. We were 8 laps down going into the start of the race.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
We were 8 laps down going into the start of the race, and we were hauling butts going up the leaderboard 5th. And then I got out of the carts after 2 hours. Gage went back in there for an hour and a half around there, I should say. We swapped. We were I think when he was running 4th most of the time he was out there. We swapped. We were in 7th or something like that. Then we were out there for a while, and Brendan went out there. He was out there for a while. We were averaging around 5th, around there. And then Brendan went out. Bobby went in.
Nice.
We were. He was out there for an hour and 10 or something like that.
That's it. Only an hour and 10 a week.
Yeah. And then I went in.
That's impressive, guys. I'm just saying.
I went in for an hour and 15 minutes.
Jeez.
In the middle of my 20 minutes left in my stint. I didn't drink a lot of water, so my muscle cramped.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, I cramped. Came into I pulled off, and then Gage finished up the race. We were running 4th for a long time. Somebody wrecked with 5 minutes left in the race.
We got up to 3rd.
We got up to 3rd, and we finished it. We barely finished because our gearing was all chewed up. The sprocket was gone. I don't know how we finished it. The right rear tire had cords. The cords was almost gone.
You were running softs? No, you were
running
running
R70s.
It's a harder tire.
All right, let's talk about what's
Quincy.
next.
Quincy.
That was a fun deal.
The biggest race of the year. You gotta go there one day.
Bigger than Rock Island?
It's bigger.
Bigger than Rock Island.
It's bigger than Rock Island.
Have you ever run Rock Island before?
My mom wouldn't let me. But now that I'm an adult, she can't tell me no. But now Ashley could, so.
Well,
Quincy would be the one to go.
Quincy,
it's a neat place.
It's a fun place. There's a frickin' excuse.
You're good with frickin'. You're good with frickin'.
You're good with that one. There's a frickin' jump.
There's a jump
down the straightaway.
The carts actually catch air.
They catch air.
So the 1960s Formula 1 cars just coming up over the crest, just like that, just enough.
Yeah, they're not. Awesome. They don't launch really.
They don't launch.
They just catch air.
They catch. They hover in the air a little bit.
they jump in the air going into turn 1, and there's rock solid walls,
retaining walls, trees. It's okay because they put the hay bales.
Oh, that's safe. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
They put that just hay bales.
You worried about hay bales and
It's
trees?
the most dangerous race I ever raced.
It's in a park, South Park, Illinois. It's in Quincy, Illinois.
You're going 65 miles an hour in 206.
It's a track. It's just a park, and it's almost built like a racetrack.
It's like a racetrack. You have to draft like NASCAR.
It's over a mile long.
If you're not drafting,
how many turns?
like
14?
12.
Okay,
12.
So Rock Island's 1, 2, 3, 4,
6.
5, 6. Yeah, 6 turns.
6.
Okay, so double.
Yeah.
And probably double the length too then.
Yeah.
And there's a minute. It's like 1 minute and 16, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a track. I don't normally watch Race Monitor like at Badger or anything because I can watch him physically on track. This is probably the only track I watch Race Monitor to make sure
he's
hitting everything. Yeah.
Because he only sees me once.
You'll see him pass. You know,
it's like Road America. You can only see me once.
Or Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Blackhawk.
That's the only one I was watching. That's the only track I really, like I said, almost all the sprint tracks that we go to, I'm just, the other dads will be next to me, but they're, this time, that time, and that's the only one, like I said, I'm on monitoring.
You're looking.
I'm looking down, it's like, okay, clicked off another lap, okay, we're okay.
Yeah, that's what my mom was. She would watch me go down the front chute at Blackhawk.
Yeah.
And then when I disappeared into the trees, she would just 1001, 1002. Because this was back in when the go-kart tires were stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like.
It just.
Yeah. There was no race monitor. There was no
Yes.
smartphones. It was just count 1001, 1002, and then anytime she get to about like a minute 10, she start to. Like, because it was about a minute 20, is that right? So you should start to see me. And then the announcer would yell, "Deer on track, deer on the track," which would automatically mean that it'd be in front of me. There's 50 carts in 5 classes. It'd just jump it out in front of me. Yeah.
This is just Quincy. It's just crazy. There's elevation changes. There's blind corners. So you gotta watch yourself. You gotta watch yourself every corner.
When does that race go? Because I know
it's
Rock Island's Labor Day.
Yeah, Rock Island is always Labor Day weekend. It's the end of June coming year.
Next year, let me look at Margay's dates.
It's a fun thing. We are definitely going to run. We are definitely going back to Quincy for next year.
I'm looking at their dates.
Next year for us is probably going to be most part-timing stuff just because with the baby on the way and all that. So I don't want to get too much into a points battle with anything. So just trying different things here and there. I would love to do that.
That would be neat.
Speaking of dates, you have a date.
Oh, yes. Coming up, a big show we have. I'm on the board for Badger Kart Club, and we're having a special. It's a week after our final points race. It'll be October the 13th. It's called the Thor's Throwdown. It's all 206 classes.
Okay.
The cadets, sportsman class, the juniors, senior mediums, and senior heavies, and we have the Ignite Senior class.
Gotcha.
That's a debut. That's the first time ever Badger's going to have an Ignite
spec class
kart class.
I almost assumed that they would have had Ignite there. But not like a weekly rate or class, but like passing,
like a challenge race.
Like a challenge.
Yeah, like a
challenge. Like they do the challenge. Yeah. Well, that's something that I tried working on, and maybe down the line we will get something there. Mm-hmm. It's from what a lot of the guys that travel, and they want to come. They want to come up to Badger. Badger's you've raced at Badger many years, and the facility is probably one of the best karting facilities in the country, I believe.
Consistently.
Yes.
Because some tracks can be really good for the first 5 years, and then after that,
they go down.
Everybody that have shown up that run the challenge series, they run the enduro races. Bobby Krug, Brady Tyler, those guys that have come to Badger just to run a weekly show, or they just love the facility, and that's what we're trying. Keith Freeber from Margay, I've talked to him several times. He's probably getting tired of me talking to him about it.
He's like, really? He's like,
fine, we'll schedule you just so you can shut up for a minute.
I wish he would say that.
He's like, fine.
I would love it. I would love to have have Margay and the Ignite Challenge Series there because that, like I said, that facility is far, one of the best. I'm thinking, they just Badger. This is their 65th year, and they just had the USPKS
Pro Karts,
which everybody we talked to that whole weekend, Lewis was there, I was there all weekend.
I was all there all weekend.
Racing or watching or volunteering?
I was working.
Working, okay.
Volunteering. Everybody from the officials to the racers who have never been there before just enjoyed the place.
The only thing that track had a lot of grip.
Yeah, well, the tires and the heat.
They just changed compounds. They have a softer compound tire.
Yeah, another thing about sprint car racing is every week the track's different. Sometimes it's really tacky, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, and
some drivers can adapt, some guys don't.
That's the best part of any racing, and I think that's what dirt track racing is the best. Is the change of the track the whole day.
It's like yesterday. Like they just added rhino patches, which grips up the track.
We had a lot of stuff to do. Everybody was having the same issues. The carts were always tight, so you try to free them up as much as you can.
Yep. Put a stiffer axle in there.
Yeah, try to get that to free up, and we tried clamps on the axle to get more, tighten them up, and it's like just the different things. It helped.
Loosen up.
Loosen up. It helped loosen. Yeah.
But just to get rid of the grip.
Yeah.
And he's adapting to a lot of it, but I'm getting a lot of good feedback from him.
So all you can do as a driver, just tell him what changes to make, and then again, let your crew guys.
And also,
if they know a thing or two, let them do it. Don't try to micromanage.
Sometimes I feel like a cart's tight. I look at my camera and I'm watching my hands. I'm like, it's loose.
Yep, exactly. So that is
October the 13th at Badger Kart Club in Dousman.
And it's money.
It's a money race. All the senior classes, the 206 medium heavies, and even the junior class
are all paid.
They're all paid. Even and the Ignite senior class are all paid. The cadets and sportsmen are going to get trophies. We're going to do
really nice trophies.
A couple practice sessions during the morning. Your second practice session will have your time, and we're going to do dashes for all classes. We're going to have the top 6. They're going to run a 4-lap dash for $50 each, and that'll line you up for your heat race. And then we'll line up the heat race.
Yes, bringing dirt track to the road courses. Let's go.
Yes,
I'm sure they're going to be. And they're like, wait, there's money? We can win money? Like,
we've got drivers from Southern Illinois. We've got drivers from Indiana, North Dakota that are coming.
There's some Oklahoma. There's somebody coming.
Nice.
That they saw this. It's the same weekend as the CKNA
Grand Nationals.
But
that's good.
Which is good. It's good. There's maybe some drivers that don't want to go there,
grands.
And you don't want to be one of 500, 600, 700 drivers.
There's currently 605 entries.
Options. People, I think, sometimes get options mixed up with being bad because, like, it's not. You have options now. Like,
true.
So the not. But like the really good guys will probably go to Grand, right? And some people that might not even make the main there might actually do pretty good here and make some money. They're making money. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, and then right now we have over $6,000 in cash and prizes right now
for all the classes.
For all the classes,
all the paying classes.
All the paying classes over $6,000, and it's building as we go.
Is Mojo going?
Yeah.
Oh well, don't even show up for that class.
He'll be there. He'll be there. Yep, that's their plan.
Currently 602 entries for Grands.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's
good. And I'm assuming. I can imagine probably 200 at least.
We're looking at we average 30
per
I think then there's going to be at least.
We'll have probably 50 in our class. And we'll have close to, I would say, at least 200.
I have close to 200 entries,
which would be
amazing for just 206.
For our first race of trying this, and we can change the date later on if we, the date was set before CKA announced the Grands.
Oh, so they're copying you. Gotcha. Yeah.
Everybody's complaining about that date, that Grands.
We can always change it next year.
I'm like,
but we wanted to leave it alone and see how it goes.
Yep.
And Corey Carlson and myself were both working on this. And
is it gonna be streamed?
we'll see. Would you want to do that?
I mean, Nathan would be the one to talk to.
Be the kart chaser of
That would be cool if we could do that.
Badger TV.
Yeah.
Badger TV. The kart chaser of Badger.
We can talk about it, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because that'd be one more, like...
Yes. That would...
Streamed, their sponsors, whoever... Like,
yeah, we've got quite a few good sponsors, like Streeter, Margay Racing.
Yeah.
The winner... The highest finisher
of the senior medium class is going to arrive and drive
at
for any Ignite Challenge race.
So that's from Margay Racing
for the 2025 season.
So we got some really good prizes and stuff in store for that. I'm hoping it turns out really well. And like I said, I've gone to a lot of races. We went to Rock Island. Lewis and I went there, and I talked to a lot of guys from Indiana, and that they were really positive about. I said, "Aren't you guys going to run the Grands?" They said, "Heck no, we're going to come and race here." I said, "That's what I want to hear."
Yeah.
Registration's going to open up this week.
Boom.
So we'll.
And that's going to be on Badger Kart Club.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll have a link to sign up in there and register, and it's a really nice entry. It's not overpriced. It's a $60 entry fee.
That's it.
Plus your $20 pit pass.
So
$80. You could run more than one class. You could run mediums, heavies, and Ignite classes. Each class is $60 entry, but that's fine. It's reasonable.
One pit pass.
We have one pit pass.
Yeah, from there. All right, cool. Yeah, that sounds like I'm gonna see if I can find a ride for that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun. Get my butt kicked in the go-kart again. Oh, those are bad memories. So speaking of streaming services, Nathan's Racing event has a date, November 2nd. Don't know if you're following the Midwest Racers or been invited to it, but it's $150 entry. Last year was $100. This year is $150. It will be streamed on Badger TV. Let's go. So you can be famous. You kicking butt or your butt getting kicked can be famous, depending on how you look at it. So it'll be on Badger TV. Big prizes. Nathan's noticed that the more money that's kind of going into the feature, the more serious people are taking it, and he's like, this is not supposed to be like that serious, especially because no one's prepping your own cart. Like,
yeah,
they're all
K1.
different. Yeah, they're all different. So he's going about it a little bit differently. I think there's still money on the line for your feature winners at like A main, B main, C main, all that stuff. I think the top 5 get paid out, but he's gonna have a lot more money in the bingo balls. Which is good because I think we won $50.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Rouge helmet up that you can get. Like, that is going to be the prize.
Nice.
Like, one of the main prizes. So big prizes. And then just a small detail. It's going to be on the super track, so.
The big track.
Oh, that would be
the
awesome.
Big track.
The big track.
Yep.
That's cool.
Before you guys got here, I started editing my vlog, race day vlog, and that's in there. And Nathan's talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, we're just doing the big track, super track." And I was like, "Yeah, and no excuses then, because no one's gonna pay $3,000 an hour to practice." Right. So everyone's gonna be on the track with very minimal laps. It's gonna be
Perfect.
So yeah, November 2nd. Message Nathan or the Midwest Racers page to pre-register. I think it's registered at this point now. So we're doing that. Kart Racing and the Bench Racing Podcast is sponsoring 2 spots, so that'll be good for the A-Main. Can't wait for that. And it's a fun time. It's a really fun time. I know it's on Hall of Fame. That's what we were kind of talking about when we hit the live, was that. But gives people options.
Yeah.
Options.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah. Be famous or see Matt Kenseth.
Yeah.
All right, and then our next topic here is the 2024 Wilmot season / Saturday, because Saturday was so good. So let me go through the results real quick with that. The Wingless was a sweep. Tyler Cuxhouse, fast time, heat race 1 winner, and the feature winner. Heat 2 went to Bryce Andrews. Heat 3 went to Chris Klemko. Like I said, Tyler won the feature. Let's go Tyrod. That was a barn burner. It was just so much fun. And unfortunately, fell 1 spot short. Finished 2nd, but at the same time, like, it was just going back and forth so many times. Like, you couldn't time it to be like, oh, if I want to be leading the last lap, I have to pass now or wait a lap. So it was just there, and we had a late yellow, we had a green white checker, and I was scored first.
Oh, really?
And people are saying I should have thrown the slider. In hindsight, yes, obviously I should have threw it to protect myself from it, but he threw it, and I kind of figured that I would have another shot, but I kind of used up my whole car in that lap 10 to lap 18 battle with him when we were just swapping spots back and forth. Car was just free, couldn't get any more forward drive, and at that point I was just trying to keep the momentum up because Zach Radart finished fourth. He ran out of fuel going down the back chute. That's why he finished fourth.
Wow.
But Jimmy Sivia finished third, Radar fourth, Chris Klemko fifth, and Ralph Johnson was your hard charger with +8, tied with Tyler because he went +8. But Ralph went 18th to 10th. 604 Wings, fast time went to Matt Vanderveer, Heat 1, Ian Steer, Heat 2, CJ Malik. Feature went to Ian Steer. Second place, Brian Christan, which was hard charger at +6. Matt Vanderveer third. Tommy Sexton and Alan Hafford finishing fifth. Modifieds. So some of these names, I don't recognize because the whole thing was like Beaver Dam. I feel like some of those guys are coming down. So Heat 1 went to Dan Jung. So I don't know if I think maybe it's first or second time at Wilmot, so he picks up Heat 1, maybe, I don't know. Heat 2, though, went to Scott Barnhurst. Your future winner was the guy behind in points, Steve Mueller, but just did not. He did everything he could do to win the championship. It's just the guy that ended up winning the championship just did that one extra thing.
Steve lost it?
Steve was behind going into it.
Really?
Yep, so Steve Mueller +9, that was a hard charger. I mean, he did everything he could. Dan Jung finished second. Bart Sievert finished third. Fourth went to Don Scheffler. And fifth went to the champion. Fifth went to the champion, Joel Crowbridge. So Joel was moving up. Bandits. Heat 1 went to Daniel Marshall Jr. Heat 2 went to Ryan Andrews. Heat 3 went to Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. Your A main went to David McKellips. Second place went to Craig Cruiser. Third place went to Ryan Johnson. Fourth went to Austin Orth. Fifth went to Daniel Marshall Jr. And then your hard charger for the Bandits was William Ranker +12, 24th to 12th. And then, since this is the first podcast after the points for Wilmot, your Lightning Sprint champion is Mark Einhardt +5 points. He was only 5 points ahead at the end. And he was second in points going into the last race, so that was crazy. Bandits went to Ryan Johnson. He finished 17 points ahead. That was smaller going into the last race, so he pulled. He did everything. He did a really good job. Street Stocks went to Blake Cruiser, 10 points ahead of second place. Modifieds, Joel Crowbridge, 5 points ahead of Steve Mueller. So it's like,
wow,
it was
5
tight.
points.
5 points. I can't wait to look back at our predictions that we did back in January and February to see how close we were not. Because I think a lot of us were like, oh, probably like 30 points between all these classes.
30 points.
You know?
But that's even not a lot.
No, it's probably a feature win and you finish like not or B main and you don't transfer. I think that's
really
yeah. I'd have to look at the points again.
Wow.
Because if you won and someone finished 25th, it'd be enough to swing that.
At 5 points, that's not even a position.
Yeah, 5 points would be first and second. That's the difference.
Oh,
first and
Jesus.
second. And then after that, it gets even closer. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Wingless went to Chris Klemko, 9 points ahead. Did not win a feature this year at Wilmot. I believe he did not win a feature this year, so winning a championship without a feature is pretty impressive.
Good. Yeah,
Consistency, yep. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, all the champions have won a feature, at least one feature this year, except for Chris.
Wow.
It's crazy. 604 Wing went to Tommy Sexton, 17 points ahead, and then 410 Winged goes to Blake Nemi, 14 points. So closest is 5, farthest is 17.
That's still nothing.
Still nothing. So congrats to all the champions at Wilmot Raceway. Rain weather has been kind of sucky, so I mean, some of them only had 3 features, some of them had 11 features. It's just kind of sucks that way. All right, so we'll talk about Saturday's feature a little bit too. So one thing I just want to start off with, if you're not following TNN, Tater's News Network, you should. Good content. And also Civia Racing. Those guys have been kind of going back and forth all year. So I posted a question of the week. Was that the best race, the Wingless race on Saturday? Just because of how much Tyler, myself, and Radar were just like on top of each other, never touched once. Which we got, yes, that was the best. And I mean, when we pulled in, there was people like even Bandit drivers were coming up to me and going like, that was one hell of a race. Which is nice, especially when you're part of it. Even you're on the losing side, but you're part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I posted that just to see like what our social media following was, and then I saw an angry face, which was Tristan First's mom, and I was like, oh, I can see how that could be taken the wrong way. So I just want to make sure, like, that's not what it was intended for. It was more intended for drivers that don't race with respect, because I feel that people that think that respect means you, I don't know, are more of a pushover, like, oh, after you, like, I'll be respectful of your equipment. It's not that. You can race really hard. But, I mean, the feature, excluding not being able to start right away because the bike in turn one it caused the yellow. Yeah, Tristan's flip with Johnny Fall's flip. Like, if that's not where I was getting at. No. I was getting at the last half of the race. Yeah, but it did have everything. It had battle for the lead pretty much the whole race. There's 4 or 5 different leaders, and I lost count, but I think me and Tyler swapped leads. Not official laps led, but swapped leads. Yeah, we swapped at least 20 times. And then Radar was poking his nose under there too at points. So I'm like, man, Radar, if I mess us up,
he's waiting.
Yeah,
he's waiting for the move.
Yep. Yeah. Civia went to the tail, finished 3rd. Ended up on the podium. Fall was upside down, went to the work area, finished 9th. So you had guys from the tail coming through. Like, I feel that some races are one or the other. Like, the battle up front's good, and then it sizzles, or someone's in the back, and they kind of move up, and then about halfway through, they just run out. So, I think it was definitely one of the best features, and just wanted to prove to the world that you can race for the lead really hard and not touch and be respectful. So yeah, the other thing too is watching it from Mark Td. I think I can't pronounce it. I don't think that's how his last name's pronounced, but we'll go with it. Mark Td. He's got it on YouTube. Check it out. It's actually crazy that we're battling for the lead. We're still inching away from Radar and pulling from 4th and 5th. Like, it was just crazy.
That's the biggest thing you said too, DC, is the respect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's we
you
talk
have
about
to have respect for everybody in what you're racing against. Mm-hmm. You're not going to respect some. You might respect like great drivers, but you're not going to respect everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I respect everybody. There's drivers I don't like.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
It's like that.
Yes, exactly. That's what he meant. It's you when you race, you have to have that attitude, that respect. When you're out there, it because if you don't, it just puts a bad image on you. Mm-hmm. I believe.
That's my opinion.
We see that.
I see that as well.
And Tyler he's got 4 feature wins on the year.
That's crazy.
That's good.
That's
awesome.
Really not bad.
Rookie last year.
Rookie. So that's but you gain that respect because you race clean.
Yeah, like all last year, I was like, man, I love to see the 7-Eleven like right in front of me, and I'm gonna make a move on him, or out of the corner of my eye, he's coming underneath, because I'm like, oh, he's not gonna take me into the wall, take me into the tires. And I mean, there were times during the feature on Saturday, I was like, we are literally like a credit card swipe away from hitting each other, like, because we were so close to each other. But if you watch, he's not chopping me, I'm not chopping him. The biggest thing was probably the sliders. Were definitely kind of questionable, but it was hard. It was hard and fast, and it was not to screw. It was just to get there so we didn't stuff each other.
Yeah, and that's part of the racing. then that's like you said, that's what makes it enjoyable too.
Yeah.
Between you guys, you know.
And the one other thing I wanted to say too, because I did hear a lot about Tyler and me racing really clean. Radar had the chance multiple times to put both of us in a bad spot.
Sure.
And he didn't. And so I just wanted to give Zachy Poo a little shout out too for actually racing really clean and hard. And then the red flag, unfortunately, with first sets was crazy. Like, you've seen it.
Yes.
I showed you before. Because I'm like, we're probably going to brush this topic a little bit. I'm not going to get too involved with it. I do follow Formula One.
Yeah.
Obviously, because road racing. And that's, like, the pinnacle of road
Yes.
racing is Formula One.
Yeah.
Did you watch Baku?
Yeah.
Grand Prix?
I
You
did.
saw Carlos Sainz and Perez crash?
Yeah, I did. I watched it live.
You watched it live? Okay.
He was at the racetrack.
Okay. So I listened to podcasts during the week, and the one they're like, if you have to watch a replay 5 times to figure out who's at fault, it's a racing incident. Like,
Sure. That's
so
true.
so watching that incident, it's just like you watch it once, make your opinion, because that's how the drivers are. Like, it's not a game, you can reset.
No.
Same time, you watch it live, you're like, wow, that I don't know who could have done different. You watch it 10 times back. I mean,
That's racing.
it's like Google. Whatever answer you want to find, you will find on Google, right?
As you dig into it, it gets like you said, it's a racing deal.
Yeah.
I was shocked as
Yeah.
well. I was shocked when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah. Like, the only party that I could say with 100% is Radar had no fault in that. He was just the meat in the sandwich. Because Klemko's coming up a little bit, but first that's kind of pointing down the track a little bit, too. So it's just kind of like, it's one of those things where
it's like,
And
if
it's
you
at
keep
this-
looking at it, you're
nowhere
going
to
to be
go.
mad at somebody.
And it's one of the things too. It's the start of the race.
the
Everybody's
meat
bunched
grinder.
up.
everybody's
yeah.
bunched up.
It's
Even when somebody's blocking your like road racing, when somebody's blocking, that's gonna bring everybody in the fight.
Yeah, and I don't think they're necessarily blocking, but like when you're in a car, and like if you do watch the video too, and you actually watch each car through a replay, like you can be like Radar didn't know that there were 3 wide until literally probably a second or 2 before that actually happened.
Yes.
First, that probably you just saw Radar there. He didn't see Klemko. He might have at the last second. Klemko probably didn't even see first Seth on the entry. He just saw Radar,
Yeah.
right? So there's like so many different things. You're gonna go crazy to try to find things.
Sprint cars will have spotters.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's it. It's unfortunate.
It's
Very and that's the worst thing is seeing wrecks. I hate seeing flips.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah, they're hard.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
always hard. Yeah. But like I said earlier in the show, in case you're just tuning in, Tristan is fine. He's got a little sore neck. They're rebuilding a car for this weekend. He's going to try to make it out there. Wilkie was hit in the eye with some dirt during the lineup, 4 wide salute. So he actually has to sit out to let his eye rest. So that's, it's scary stuff. For all the younger drivers out there, always have your visors at least shut all the way or cracked like 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
It does suck. It's hot. It's hot.
I always have this thing.
Yeah.
I have it closed.
Yeah. Yep. So, so that leads us to the last thing we have on the show, which is a Fall Classic bundle passes. If you're going to buy a bundle pass for this weekend at Wilmot, which is Thursday racing, Friday night racing, Saturday night racing, 3 days of racing, you have to buy these bundle passes before September 18th. So today's Monday, so Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Before Wednesday, go to WilmotRaceway.com or their Facebook page. They'll have links there. Click on the My Race Pass pit passes, and it is $75 at the pit gate for the bundle, or $90 if you don't. And then it is $40 for general admission, which I'm professional, and I'm on the wrong one probably. Nope, I'm on the right one. No, I'm not. Passes, 3-day pass. Yeah, so $40 for the general admission 3-day pass. And then covers all 3 nights of racing. So your headliners are Thursday night, the Wisconsin Wingless. Friday is MSA and Lightning Sprints. And then Saturday is the 410 winged race. Right now it's $4,250 to win.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is.
For
It's
an
not
unsanctioned.
That's not an IRA. That's just
No
an
IRA.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty impressive. There's been people, where do you think the money? I don't care where the money's. We go to Circle C. There's 12 cars that show up. As long as my check cashes, cool. I got paid $800 for 12 cars, right? I mean, it's not now, but it was. Now it's getting more cars. So yeah, and then the Wingless is up to 1125 now because of Ryan Marshall Racing. So thank you, Ryan Marshall.
Awesome.
That's pretty nice.
For
Awesome.
putting some money into that. And yeah, I think the racing's going to be even better than Saturday because there's more money on the line. But yeah, then MSA on Saturday or Friday with the Lightning, so that'll be cool. But yeah, man, that show flew by and we were a little over. That was fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Great time. You have fun?
That was fun.
It was fun. Jimmy, I hear. Think Nate should ask Wilkie to run his car. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the owner. you should message him, see what he says. Cause yeah, so that's Wilmot Raceway is running Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The Wisconsin Wingless is also running Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday night at Wilmot, Friday night at Sycamore, Saturday night at Plymouth. But man, I'm really interested to see that 410 race on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then also make sure you follow, like, subscribe all of our pages on social media. There we go. Tomorrow or Wednesday we'll be leaking out what we'll be doing for the Fall Classic. For sure, Thursday night, the Wisconsin Wingless in our car, the 59 car. No pressure. It's just, my mom and dad's anniversary, September 19th. No pressure. Their first date was at Wilmot Raceway.
Really?
In 1981. No
Wow,
pressure.
No pressure.
And then we have a sponsor and crew member. Her and her husband's anniversary is September 19th.
Wow.
Nice. Very
So
cool.
yes.
Very cool.
But yeah, crazy stuff. All right, we'll start getting out of here. So Louis, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors. I would thank John and Jim's Motor Cars, Street Super Stands. I'd like to thank him, my dad as well, my mom. I'd like to thank Grandma, Mark's Cakes, my other grandma, buys Goldens. I'd like to thank Jack, amazing helmets.
Mm-hmm. His paint job will take at least a tenth of a second off your lap time.
Over a ton.
Over a tenth. There you go.
Over a tenth, it does. Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Slices through the air better.
Yep.
I'd like to thank as well. I think sponsors. Margay Racing, obviously. Margay, great chassis. Their Ignite program is amazing. If you want to join karting, get Ignite.
Okay.
They are good starting karts. What am I missing? Streeter. I got Carbon Digital, best decals in the business.
Yes.
Okay.
Carbon Digital, Danny Cochran.
Yep.
Awesome guy.
Oh yeah. He's kicked my butt a few times. As adults, I like him, but as a kid, I was like, "Oh, he showed up."
Faster Motors, the best top motors in engine builders in the business. Jim Franz, the best motors in the business.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best.
Yep, does a good job for us.
Nice. Joe, anybody else?
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I think he said it pretty
he
well.
He did.
He said it pretty well. But we've got some very good help, very good sponsors. My wife Mary, she does a lot. Very
Always say
good
your mom's
photography. Yep.
Oh, there's my mom will be very mad.
Yeah.
We have names.
Yeah, she does a great job photography and helping out a lot. And without her, we wouldn't be racing. So.
Yeah. Awesome. On our side, I'd like to thank Kenosha Plumbing, brand new, let's go. Outrageous Apparel, Next Gen Pumps, Pullman Auto Painters Plus, K9sforyou.org, Rouge Helmets, Bay Nelson, RevTech Manufacturing, Wise Guys Barbershop, Toro Tents, Ashley Bree Photography, Jack's Helmet Design. Let's go. Hold my beer. Kenosha, Daybreak Church, Benny Nelson. I think I said that, but Pinnacle Media Productions, David Crane, Mirror Image Coding, Bricks and Minifigs of Kenosha, Kathy Crane, Jeremy and Kylie Crane, my beautiful wife Ashley, my mom and dad Mark and Gail, Dave, Maddie, Hunter, Brandon, Autumn. My gosh, we had a lot of people there too on Saturday.
Wow,
Tony
cool.
and Lisa. And I know I'm forgetting people too. Big One fan, Kyle, Nathan, Lauren Cooper. Just everybody that makes that thing go fast. And I feel like... Elliot, there we go. I knew I was forgetting someone. Elliot, sorry, Elliot. And Gina, there we go. Yeah, so thank you guys for everything that you guys do on the 59 car. And Caleb, your secret word is kart racing for money equals broken tie rods. There you go. Because anytime we raced for money back in the day, we always had a broken tie rod from the start. You know people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just slamming doors.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So, so thank you guys for everything that you guys do. And next guest next week is Terry Kudrowski. He was supposed to be on back in July because we were taking the podcast to Wilmot Raceway for the World of Outlaws event on that Monday, but it rained out. And then with everything that I kind of got going on with the Fall Classic, with racing, the hint is I'm racing all 3 days at the Fall Classic, but you just don't know which cars yet. So stay tuned for that. I was just like, I can't do a podcast and then race and try to keep, like, it would be really hard. And then Brandon wouldn't be able to make it on a certain couple days. So I was like, we'll just do it next year for the World of Outlaws. But then I told Terry, I was like, we'll get you in somewhere in there. So Terry Kudrowski will be on next Monday. Modified driver. Then we have Jack here. Good luck, Louis, with the rest of your races this season. Yes, how many races do you have left?
3 more.
3 more. What tracks?
We got Badger, Club Race, Forest Rodown,
The Thor's the next week.
Yep.
and then Gateway Cartplex.
Finish
Ignite
up again, yeah.
finally
Is
finale.
St.
St.
Louis?
Louis,
Yeah, okay.
the NASCAR track.
Yeah.
Then
Nice.
Gateway Cartplex, yeah.
Ignite Challenge finale, and the racing season is concluded.
That'll finish the season at October 20th,
Okay.
Oh, it's October 19th.
19th, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'll be
So you said the NASCAR track, a part of the NASCAR
It's-
track, or
it's
the
inside?
infield.
It's
the
Gotcha.
infield.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be our 27th race of the year.
Man,
27th race day.
How many races though? Have you
Probably
had any
like
rainouts?
No,
No.
one rain out.
One.
So
But we made it up.
Oh, so you're 27?
27 rain
More
races.
races than me.
We raced at July
I
5th.
think I'm at 15.
We were at 14 races at July 5th was our 14th race event.
Wow.
And at that time 11 of those races were out of town and 3 were at Badger.
Yeah, you're ready for sprint car racing. We just said that right now.
we just talked about that before we got here. It's like, 27, and people say, well, that, you think about it, that's not a lot, but we ran 12, it'll be 12.
It's a month.
Yeah,
Straight.
12
Yeah.
races, or just Badger points races.
Yeah.
The rest were out of town.
Yeah.
So it was anywhere from St. Louis area to Iowa to,
Yeah, there's driving involved. Yeah.
6
Yeah.
hours, 4 hours.
5 hours.
Yep. You're ready for sprint car racing, that's for sure. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of this, and we will see you next week. Thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
out.
you for having us.
Oh, not a problem.
Thank you very much.
And we will be seeing you at a track real soon. Peace out, Girl Scout.